Okay. As we go through, and for the sake of those that are listening, if, for the council, you get my attention, then I'll introduce you, or start by saying your name so that everybody knows who is joining in. Okay? Do we have further discussion on this matter? So hearing none, clerk, call the roll.
Councilperson Spreeding?
Yes.
Higgins?
Yes.
Kelsey? Councilperson Kelsey?
Yes.
Parkinson?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Salcido?
Yes.
And Mayor Carnes.
Yes. So our next item is has a cover letter from Carrie Kerr, who is our city clerk, and a charter amendment to allow electronic publication. And in the purpose of the resolution is to approve ballot language for a charter amendment. If approved by the voters, this amendment would allow the city to use electronic media for publications. More and more people rely on electronic media for their news, and local papers are in danger of becoming a thing of the past. The city is currently required to publish all notices in a newspaper of local circulation. As these papers become scarcer and circulation decreases, their prices increase. As this happens, it becomes more difficult to satisfy the publication requirement at a reasonable cost. Just publicizing the minute meetings has cost over $4,000 this fiscal year, and this doesn't account for notices published by other departments that could be done electronically if allowed. All in all, this could be a significant savings for the city. There are, of course, some items that still required by law to be published in paper, and we will still must adhere to the laws that govern those items. So the resolution, which is lengthy. Whereas the mayor and council of the city of Lincoln Park have provided for a special election to be held simultaneously with the August 4, 2020 primary election for the purpose of submitting an amendment to the charter of the city of Lincoln Park as herein outlined. Now therefore be it resolved that a special election herein set forth be and hereby is approved as notice of said election, and the city clerk be and hereby instructed to publish the same in accordance with the charter and state law. In its notice of special election on charter amendment, City of Lincoln Park, Wayne County, Michigan. Notice is hereby given that a special election will be held in conjunction with the primary election to be held in the City of Lincoln Park, Michigan on August 4, 2020, at which special election the following amendment to the charter of the City of Lincoln Park will be submitted to the qualified electors of the City of Lincoln Park. Chapter 5, Section 19, Council Proceedings, Publication Required. All notices and matters not otherwise required by law to be published in an official newspaper shall be published electronically on the city's website, on the city's government access cable channel, by paper copies posted in at least 2 public buildings, and at any other such time as directed by council. All notices and matters shall be published and be posted within 10 days after their passage. Chapter 5, Section 19 of the Charter of the City of Lincoln Park presently reads as follows. Chapter 5, Section 19, Council Proceedings, Publications Required. All proceedings of the council and all ordinances shall be published in the official newspaper of the city within 10 days after their passage. The form in which the above charter amendment shall be placed on the election ballot is as follows. The purpose of the proposed charter amendment is proposed that the charter of the City of Lincoln Park, and specifically sections 19 of Chapter 5 of the city charter, be amended to allow that notices and other matters not required by law to be published in an official newspaper shall be published on the city's website, government access cable channel, posted in public buildings, and at any other such places directed by council. Do you favor amending the city charter, Chapter 5, Section 19, to allow that notices and other matters not required by law to be published in an official newspaper be published on the city's website, government access channel, government access cable channel, by paper copies posted in 2 public buildings, and at any such other places directed by council? And then you have yes and no.
So moved.
Or
With discussion?
move,
discussion?
Yes, open for discussion.
I'm sorry, I missed who the supporter was on that.
I was. Or
Thank you.
Councilman Kelsey.
There you go.
Thank you.
So we're at discussion.
Yes, this is Councilman Higgins. I very much would like it, instead of saying 2 public buildings, to say 4 public buildings. I'd like to be as open with the public as possible, and I don't think that's going too far.
As the mover, I don't object to that.
I don't have any problem as long as a supporter, as long as we define what 4 buildings we're talking about. We haven't done that yet.
Through the chair, I would say it's our governmental buildings, library included.
Right. So the logical ones would probably be City Hall, the library, Kennedy Memorial Building, and maybe the courthouse,
I would think the community center, because them are the
and
ones.
community center.
You know, I just want to chime in, Mayor, I know you can't hear me. You can repeat what I say. Make certain that the language adding to the proposed resolution doesn't exceed the number of words that's permitted by the Attorney General and the Governor on a charter amendment for a ballot question. So I think it's best confining it and then council posting by resolution each year where the meetings will be posted.
We have the city attorney that is, Ed Zelnok, that is voicing from the back of the room here, and said that we have to be careful about where, or the amount of words that we use in reference to this, because we're limited for a charter amendment, but going from 2 to 4 instead.
That's fine, but I don't think you should describe the buildings. You might go over the word limit.
That describing the building.
Yeah.
Would be it. But if you look to the bottom part of the thing where it says, or directed by council, so the council can direct where those goes, as part of that, right, as part of this charter amendment, so we can advise where it goes.
Correct.
Clear as mud? Okay. Are there further discussion on this?
The only this is Councilman Kelsey through the chair. The only question I would have, we have had a lot of problem, obviously, with the cable system and so on and so forth. Are we gonna get in trouble when we start having problems and it doesn't get posted on time, even though we post them in the buildings? And I guess that's a question for Ed.
That's always a question with notice. However, it shouldn't affect the charter amendment because technology hopefully improves.
He says that it should not affect the charter amendment. That's always a problem with notifications that type, but it should not affect the ballot language for the charter amendment itself. And he has access now, so Ed, go ahead.
Yes, on behalf of your question, Councilman Kelsey, I would submit that one doesn't know what technology will be 2 weeks from today. As you see the problems you're having this evening, I think you really indicate on the cable and public access channels by council resolution with a little language in the charter amendment, that should be sufficient.
Okay, that's good enough. Just wanna make sure. Thank you.
I don't want to socially distance myself.
Okay, further discussion? Then clerk call the roll.
Okay, Councilperson Speeding,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Parkinson,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes. Okay. Our next item has a cover letter from Leo Dumichel, where it's our planner, from Beckett and Rader. I am pleased to present for your consideration proposed revision to the Lincoln Park sign code. The version attached herein has incorporated the items identified by legal review and members of council, including removing legalese, citing the legal basis for some actions, clarifying wireframe yard sale sign standard by district, and yard sign standard by district, adding may include campaign or political signs to wireframe yard sign standards so that these words are searchable. Okay, and I have updated sign code, but that does not necessarily change the resolution. So resolved that an ordinance to amend Part 14 of the codified ordinances for the City of Lincoln Park, Title VI, by repealing and replacing Chapter 1476 signs be given its third and final reading and be adopted by title only. Said ordinance having been posted conspicuously for 72 hours. The City of Lincoln Park ordains that Part 14 of the codified ordinances for the City of Lincoln Park, Title VI, Chapter 1476 be amended by repealing and replacing it with a new Chapter 1476 entitled Signs.
So moved. Councilman Kelsey.
Support. Councilwoman Ross.
Okay, do you have that? Or open it up for discussion?
Your Honor, if I could just make a comment, please?
Yes, go.
If we could, because I know that, we had the correction posted, late. So if we could just make sure that we have the correct ordinance online.
Okay,
Jane?
Jane?
I added it to the city's website
Did.
earlier,
Oh, thank you.
replaced it.
Perfect.
Okay, further discussion? Clerk call the roll?
Councilperson Kelsey,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Parkinson,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes. All right. Bear with me just a second because I lost the last item.
How could you lose a tree?
Yeah. Can't see the forest because of the lack of the tree. All right, here we go. Whereas all right, here we go. I need an assistant. This next item has a cover letter from John Kazua, Director, Department of Public Services. The 3-year contract with E&J Tree Removal was awarded in 2017 and set to expire June 30 of 2020. E&J Tree Removal was the lowest bidder in 2017. They were offering to extend their 3rd-year utility rates for an additional year. So, whereas E&J Tree Removal is the City of Lincoln Park's current contractor for tree removal services, and they're offering to extend their 3rd-year unit rates for an additional year. Be it resolved that the Mayor and City Council authorize the extension of E&J Tree Removal contract for an additional year.
So moved. Councilman Kelsey.
Mover is Kelsey and supporter,
I'll support.
okay, City Clerk had it as Higgins, that's good. So, discussion? All right, hearing none, then clerk call the roll?
Councilperson Kelsey,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Parkinson,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes. All right, I think we're at the accounts and claims payable. So resolve that the accounts and claims payable for those items greater than $25,000 be approved as follows. 25th District Court, January, February 2020 MIDC expense reimbursement, $44,470.40. Downriver Utility Wastewater Authority, April 2020 excess flow charges, February 2020 sewage usage fee of $213,833. DTE Energy, March 2020 electric/gas usage and March streetlights, $77,749.40. Hennessy Engineers Incorporated, General Consulting, MDEQ Annual Stormwater Report, 2019 Bridge Inspections, Emergency Utility Repairs, FDCVT Grant, Dog Shelter Edition 2020 asphalt resurfacing, contract reconstruction, and DTE gas main replacement, $80,823.08. McKenna Associates, March 2020 Building Department Services permits, $32,524. And Wolverine Truck Sales, 2020 Freightliner plow truck with plow, $148,742.
So moved, Councilman Kelsey.
I'll support Councilwoman Ross.
Okay, very good. Do we have, are you, city clerk is good with that? We'll open it up for discussion.
I've got, this is Councilman Kelsey to the chair.
Yes, sir.
I got a question, but it's a last minute question for Lisa, and she can send me something through the email. It doesn't have to be done now, but on page 14, underneath the third item down, it says ERS Incorporated. Documents returned to City Hall March 13th to the 16th, 2020 from May something, documents returned, $6,000. I just need to know what's the $6,000 got returned. She can send me an email and let me know what that was.
Okay, that if she can send it to all of council so
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
everyone's aware. Okay, very good. Is there further discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Councilpersons Kelsey,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Breeding,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Parkinson,
Yes.
Salcido,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes. Okay, that is the end of the action items. We'll now move to our city manager's report. We have, Mr. Krzan.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. I'm just gonna start out kind of touching on some of the stuff you hit on earlier. Quick update on the status of COVID-19 in the community. As of tonight, we have a total of 186 confirmed cases. And as you mentioned, 13 of those were fatal. I will note that the increase in cases over the past few days is starting to slow. But remember, just because something is slowing doesn't mean it's not still growing and happening. We continue to take preventative steps to do what we can to help try and limit the spread of the disease in the community. But we do need everybody out there to help with these efforts. This means keeping kids off playground equipment, making sure we're not congregating in parks and congregating in large groups. And again, stay home if you don't have to be out. But we also need to be thinking towards the future, and we need to be prepared for social distance guidelines continuing in through the summer. City Hall and other public buildings are still closed to the public. Intention is to open when we're able to. As of right now, that would be May 1st, but we're playing it by ear as to what the governor tells us. But employees are still providing essential services. For example, DPS has had a few different water main breaks over the past few weeks that they've had to address. The treasurer's office is continuing to process payments. Our building department is responding to emergency building issues. Clerk's office has been handling birth and death certificates, accepting nomination petitions for the August election. And also finance, as we talked about earlier, has been working to finalize the 2021 budget, which is a moving target right now. This is going to be refined until the very moment that it's delivered to you. The constantly changing landscape due to this current pandemic is making it very difficult. Also, in the coming months, you're going to be presented with a 5 and 20-year capital improvement plan for the water system. This is something that's required by the state. And I do want to kind of start bracing you. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, and it will be costly. Also, as you mentioned earlier, as of Wednesday, April 15th, GFL has resumed all services for the city. This includes solid waste, recycling, and yard waste. I'll close out my comments by just giving a quick update on how to be recognized for public comment. If you're going to want to provide public comment tonight, we'll need you to open up the participants tab. You can do that by hitting the participants button at the bottom of your screen, and then hover over your name, and you'll find a spot that says more. If you click on that, you'll be able to find the raise hand command. So with that, if there are any questions, I'm happy to take those.
Have anything for,
Chairman, Your Honor,
go ahead.
just one question, James, in regards to recycling, how many weeks was it postponed?
It was postponed for 2 weeks, yes.
Do you expect anything from GFL in regards to relief to residents in the paid area?
Well, we informed GFL when they informed us that they were suspending service that we were going to withhold payment for those weeks while they were not providing the service. And it is our intention, we are figuring out exactly what that total number is going to be and how much that will work out to each individual customer.
All right, thank you. I had a couple calls and a text message today. Thank you very much.
Anything else for this city manager from council? Okay,
Your
then,
Honor.
oh, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, the lawn mowing situation, I wanna make it real clear, cause I got a lot of calls on that. You're not allowed to have a lawn mowing system or somebody else mow the lawn. What are we telling our senior citizens that they cannot mow the lawn? Or, what are we referring to? Is there anybody we're referring them to, or?
As the governor's,
Right out.
the governor's order is that, as I've read it, and I've, through our state reps and everyone else that I've spoken to, does not allow lawn services as an essential business. So we're at a point where they're not allowed to use that. I've been pushing at that because we don't,
The city's own lawn service?
any lawn service
Okay.
is not an essential business. And I don't,
Just asking what residents have asked me. Thank you.
because I know that, been aware that Wyandotte has allowed it and Southgate has allowed it. And I'm also being advised that the state police has been patrolling in Wyandotte and shutting down businesses that are doing this. So that, I got that third hand, I don't want to state it as fact, but that is what the potential, because they came out public and said that they were going to allow it. We're at a point with this that if the grass gets over 8 inches and it becomes a hazard, then if we don't have clarity from this on the 30th, then we're gonna have to take other actions. But as it stands for right now, we're adhering to the governor's orders, so that's the way I look at it. James, you wanna touch in on that?
No, you hit the nail right on the head there. Governor's order and the follow-up question and answer from the AG's office is pretty clear that mowing your lawn and regular lawn maintenance is not essential.
So hopefully by the declining numbers and such that we're going to be allowed to let these people get the work done at that particular point. But as it stands right now, the governor order still stands.
Through the chair.
Yes, sir.
Through the chair, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Councilman Parkinson, go ahead.
Does that mean we're gonna suspend our lawn ordinance because the governor said you can't do it? Because everybody's worried about getting tickets. So
Well-
does that mean that they won't get any tickets for having the grass too long?
While this is going on, and we are not allowing, or through the governor's orders, that lawn services are not going to be allowed to operate, we can't in good conscience go out and cite people for this until at that which time that it is allowed by her. When she rescinds the order or she amends it.
Because I've had a lot of calls from people worried about getting a ticket for tall grass. So what you're saying is, to make it clear for people, there will be no tickets issued while the governor says no. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything further for Mr. Krazan? Okay, then we will move on to public comment, this part of the period. And then, James, you're going to be taking care of whoever,
Yeah, I'm looking for, anybody who's raising their hand. An alternative is, at the bottom, there's a reactions button. You can click on that and give a thumbs up if you wish. That may be easier, then we can recognize that you're gonna wanna comment. Just know that that doesn't last long, so you might get missed. But as of right now, there's nobody with a hand raised.
okay, I mean, this is new for a lot of people, we understand that, but hopefully we'll get back to live meetings very soon. So, not hearing of that, then we'll open it up to oral reports of the council. Council President Breeding.
First of all, I'd like to thank all the first responders. It's amazing how much effort they're putting in that and risking their lives and going to work every day. But I want us to remember, besides the first responders, all of the grocery clerks. It's amazing how many are out there working, how many are getting sick, and I want to just give a heads up to them for all their hard work. And the men who pick up the garbage. I mean, we're putting all this trash out there and everything else and don't really give it a thought that without them, the city really would be in dire straits as far as sanitation and health. So I want to give a heads up to everyone. Good job. Hang in there. Take care of yourself. And also, I live close to the park. I just want to remind, as it's been said tonight, please, parents, don't let your children go and play on the playground equipment. They can go for walks in the park. They could ride their bike on the trail or whatever. But as far as actually playing together, they really should not be playing in the parks. And that goes for adults who are over Council Point Park playing soccer. No, that is not allowed at this point. So just as a reminder and telling everyone to stay safe, stay healthy, stay home. If you don't need to go out, stay home. And that's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Councilman Salcido.
Yes, Your Honor, I think, once again, I want to share my same sentiments as Councilwoman Breeding. Thanks to all the nurses, doctors, healthcare workers, fire employees for all the work that you do. Everyone on the front lines, no risk in their lives. And also, Mayor, thanks for your leadership with these past 4 weeks, your phone calls, emails, and your updates. I've been getting them, and I appreciate that too. So, thank you, and that's all I have. Stay safe, everybody.
Thanks, sir. Councilwoman Ross.
Thank you, Your Honor. If I could just echo the same sentiments that our council president did and Councilman Salcido. You're perfect, they're right on. And if I could just add that it was really nice to see Mr. Polinsky with us tonight too. So, and of course, thank you to everyone who helped us Zoom twice. So that's it, Your Honor. Thank you.
Very good. Councilman Higgins.
I too would like to thank our first responders, our police, our fire, our ambulance people, our nurses. And I also would like to take a special thank the DPS guys who come in and have done an enormous job taking care of the city, and all our city employees who put themselves on the line for our city. And a big thank you to all of you for holding tight for us. I'd like to remind everybody that there's food for school-age kids at the high school tomorrow. Starts from 11 to 1. And every school-age child that's 5 years old to 18 is entitled to 5 days worth of food. It'll be a breakfast and a lunch. They'll get them to next Tuesday, and they're going to do this until this is over. And I would like to personally thank the high school cafeteria staff and the rest of the food service people who have been literally putting their lives on the line doing this. Thank you very much to those people. They are, a godsend. They're helping. I'd like to remind everybody, it was mentioned earlier today, but how important our census is. If we don't get it all turned in and we don't get it If you miss a person, that means less money for the city, that means more taxes that we're not getting. And not be able to help our own city. Fill out your census, please. And lastly, I have something that's a personal thing, but something it needs to be reminded. 20 years ago, this past weekend, it's the anniversary of what I believe is one of the worst tragic things that ever happened in this city. The shooting at the senior building, where I lost my mother, but there were also other people who were lost there that day. And I don't ever want that to be forgotten. I don't ever want it ever to happen again. And I just want people to remember what happened and try and do everything we can do that this type of thing never happens again.
Yes.
That's all.
Thanks, sir. Councilman Kelsey?
Thank you, Your Honor. Everybody's kind of like thanked everybody, and I think that's important. Like I say, everybody that has mentioned it from the council is right. All the different first responders, the DPS to fix the water mains, the clerk, the city manager who comes in. And I also want to thank the council for taking time to make sure that they're here for these Zoom meetings and that we conduct business in these times, which are very trying. These are something that's very unique based upon what's happening in this country. I think it's a testament that the mayor and the council continue to address the issues in the city when things are really going south real quick, and keep you handled to make sure the residents feel that they're comfortable with the services we're providing them. So I like my hats off to the council and to the mayor and to the city manager and all the different people that we have in the city working that a lot of time people don't realize it, like councilperson Donna, or councilperson Donna said about the garbage people. You know, they're part of the system. They make things work every day. The people with the grocery store. So I like to thank everybody, and I think that's you can't say enough about everybody. Everybody, post office people that deliver the mail, because I do my stuff by mail still. So I appreciate the mailman and the mail. So all those little things we take for granted, you kind of appreciate it when things are going and you don't have them, or they're in danger of not having them. So again, I'd like to say to the citizens, like everybody else has said, please stay at home. There's a lot of people that have underlying issues out there that you might be nice, getting around, and you might have what they call the unintentional of infecting somebody else who takes it very, very badly because of their pre-existing condition. And I think we all would see that if we knew or heard of somebody that we had talked to, and all of a sudden they have the virus. So with that, I say good night to everybody, and I hope everybody stays safe.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Parkinson?
I have to echo the same thing about the heroes that are taking care of business, the doctors, nurses, on down to the rubbish removal. Police and fire, I always see them on the move. They had a fire over at apartments over there in Goddard. DPS been in quite a few times for trees and main breaks and flooding. So just remember, all these people make the city work. So all the complaints that you give, look at the good things that the people do for the city. So I think that's all I got to say for tonight, so thank you.
Thank you. Yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry, there was something on my list, and I think it kind of slipped everybody's mind with everything that's going on.
Go ahead.
But we have new officers sworn in today, and I would like to welcome Officer Jackson to Lincoln Park, and welcome him to the family, and just say thank you and welcome.
All right, sir. That was a extremely small swearing in deal earlier for Mr. Trevor Jackson, young family man that came to us from Woodhaven. It's nice to get an officer back from Woodhaven. They have taken quite a few of our guys and gals, I would say. But with that swearing in, there's a lot of things that are going on that can't be celebrated or attended right now. I'm hearing of births. I know that in my family, my daughter, they got married, And then there are people that have family members through this, I mean, the 13 through the COVID deaths in Lincoln Park alone, but other people have had deaths in their families and they cannot get together to popularly mourn. So everybody is going through this, and everybody has this sense of loss, and they want to get back and they want to get things going again. But we have to be extremely careful for this, because as the cases are winding down, if we go into a normal lifestyle right again, then you're going to have the ability or the possibility of a spike, and then we'll be back to where we were before. So what I'm just saying is, stay the course. It's difficult. I know that my wife is ready to farm me out someplace else, but you know, that's, I'm sure, but there's a lot of good things that are coming from this too. That you see our first responders responding, you people that come out and are making arrangements for making calls to seniors, making sure that they have enough to eat, and all of those. There's a lot of very heroic and good things that are taking place in this town that we're all going to tell our grandkids about years in the future. Have you know that the emergency operation team for your city is meeting still on a daily basis, just to check and make sure everything that is operating accordingly. The police and fire departments do have the necessary equipment to respond to the runs, and are doing so, and they are at near full staff doing that. And it mentioned, Councilman Higgins mentioned the shooting at the senior towers, and being one of the first officers on the scene there. It is something that will stay with me for the rest of my life. Hard to believe that it's been 20 years, but those things are always possible to happen at any given time. And we remember all the good things that his mother Marilyn did for us and for the city and for the seniors. She was delivering some, I think it was pastries for the residents there, at which time that she was shot. So we'll pray that never happened again. Through this all, I want to finally just throw a special thank you for our emergency manager, director through this. Steve Martin, our fire chief, has done a very good job for us. I mean, all of the team has done well, but he has done an exceptional job for us, and I just wanted to make sure that he gets our thanks. And with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Support.
All right. Carrie, did you get the mover and supporter?
I did.
All right, then call the roll.
Councilperson Salcedo,
Yes.
Parkinson. You gotta unmute yourself, Tom.
Yes.
There you go.
Reading,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Kelsey,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
and Mayor Carnes.
Yes. Good night, everyone.
All right.
Okay, this is for the replay. I'd like to thank all the people that are watching us in replay. If you go on the citylp.com, it says council meetings agenda, and you can click on that and get on the Zoom meeting. We did have some technical glitches. We worked a lot of them out. We also want to let you know this will be replayed on YouTube. Also on the city government page, you go to LPTV and click YouTube, and you'll see the replay of the entire meeting. Thank you.